As children, Bill and his friends made a solemn promise: if Pennywise ever returned, they would reunite and defeat it once and for all. 27 years later, the friends have scattered across the country, leaving Derry behind. It's party season in Derry, and crowds of young people gather at the local amusement park. During a water gun competition, Adrian wins a prize: a stuffed teddy bear. Noticing that young Vicky is sad about losing, he kindly gives her the prize. Adrian then meets up with his boyfriend, and the two leave the park together, unaware they are being followed. A gang corners them. Adrian fights back but is brutally beaten and thrown into the river. As he struggles in the water, Adrian sees a clown standing at the riverbank. But when Don rushes to help, the clown Pennywise rips out Adrian's heart and vanishes in a storm of red balloons. That night, Mike, the only member of the Losers Club who stayed in Derry, hears the police radio about a body found near the amusement park. Investigating, he discovers a red balloon and a message scrawled in blood. Realizing Pennywise has returned, Mike calls Bill, now a successful writer, to bring him back. He reaches out to the others: Eddie, who gets into a car accident after the call, Richie, who collapses on stage during a stand-up show, and Ben, who halts an important meeting to answer Mike's call. Of them all, Stanley reacts the worst. Terrified of returning to Derry, he chooses to take his own life rather than face the nightmare again. Meanwhile, Beverly receives her call during the night. As she tries to pack, her abusive husband, Tom, confronts her violently. But Beverly fights back, smashing a painting over his head and fleeing into the storm, leaving her wedding ring behind. Years earlier, after Pennywise was first defeated, floodwaters had carried bodies from the sewers into the lake, among them Henry Bowers, who survived but was blamed for his father's murder. Now, nearly 3 decades later, Henry is locked in a sanatorium. One night, he sees a red balloon float past his window. Following it, he finds a dead Patrick, animated by Pennywise, who helps him escape. Back in Derry, Bill meets Mike at a Chinese restaurant, where the others soon join them. They laugh, share memories, and catch up, but notice Stanley's chair remains empty. As they talk, Mike realizes the others have forgotten much of their childhood, a strange effect Derry has on those who leave. But Mike, who stayed, remembers everything. After dinner, each friend opens a fortune cookie. Their fortunes spell out a disturbing message hinting at Stanley's fate. Suddenly, the remaining cookies start to shake and burst, releasing nightmarish creatures. The group panics, battling hallucinations of floating skulls in the aquarium. When a waitress appears, everything abruptly returns to normal, and Richie awkwardly asks for the bill. Outside, Beverly calls Stanley's wife, confirming their worst fears: Stanley is dead. Overcome by terror, the group decides to leave town, but Mike convinces Bill to stay a little longer, promising to show him something important at the library. That night, at a baseball game, Vicky, the girl from earlier, chases a firefly into the stands and encounters Pennywise. Pretending to cry about being mocked, the clown lures her in and kills her. Meanwhile, at the psychiatric hospital, Henry murders a guard and escapes, aided by the spirit of Patrick. He heads straight for the hotel where the losers are staying. At the hotel, Richie and Eddie go upstairs to pack, while Beverly, visibly shaken, reveals a chilling secret to the others: she has seen visions of each of their deaths. Since the day she left Derry, Beverly has been haunted by nightmares, visions of people suffering and her friends dying. In one dream, she sees every member of the Losers Club, including herself, eliminated by Pennywise. Meanwhile, Bill arrives at the library where Mike works and learns a shocking truth: Mike has discovered the origin of Pennywise. Through a Native American artifact called the Shakopa, Mike reveals visions he experienced during an ancient ritual. Bill sees the story unfold: how Pennywise came to Earth long ago, wreaking havoc and destroying Mike's ancestors. In the final part of the vision, Bill witnesses the only possible solution: a ritual that can trap the creature inside the artifact. Determined, Bill rushes to convince the others to join him in stopping Pennywise once and for all. Beverly's connection to Pennywise is deeper than the others. In the past, she was hypnotized by the creature's deadlights, which left her with a supernatural ability to predict death. Unless they stop the clown, her terrifying visions will come true. The losers reunite in the forest, returning to their old underground clubhouse, built by Ben. There, Mike explains that for the ritual to succeed, each of them must find an artifact from their childhood, something deeply connected to their past. Beverly's journey. Beverly visits her childhood home, hoping to find her artifact. She learns that her abusive father has died and that a strange old woman named Mrs. Kirsch now lives there. Invited inside, Beverly explores the house and finds her childhood treasures. But Mrs. Kirsch's odd behavior grows more disturbing. As Beverly examines photos on the wall, she realizes in horror that Kirsch is Pennywise's daughter, or perhaps something far worse. Suddenly, the old woman transforms into a monstrous creature and charges at her. Beverly narrowly escapes, only to realize the house is now an abandoned ruin. Richie's journey. Elsewhere, Richie visits the arcade he once loved. There, he finds a token and a flood of memories rush back, including being bullied by Henry Bowers. Terrified, Richie runs to the nearby park, only to be attacked by a giant, possessed Paul Bunyan statue. Closing his eyes, he wills the hallucination away. But just as he thinks he's safe, Richie encounters Pennywise, who taunts him with the knowledge of his secret. Pennywise floats toward him on a cluster of balloons, forcing Richie to flee once again. Bill's journey. In a second-hand store, Bill finds his old childhood bicycle. He buys it and rides through Derry streets, reliving bittersweet memories. Passing his childhood home, he hears his brother Georgie's voice calling from a manhole. When Bill approaches, he is nearly pulled underground by ghostly hands but escapes with Georgie's paper boat in hand. Nearby, he meets a boy who confides that he hears voices from the bathtub drain. Fearing for the child's safety, Bill urges him to find a way to leave Derry before it's too late. Ben's journey. Ben revisits painful memories of being bullied at school. When he was younger, Pennywise took advantage of his loneliness, appearing as Beverly to lure him. Trapped in a classroom, Ben narrowly escaped being devoured by the clowns, saved at the last second by a teacher. After recovering his artifact, Ben returns to the hotel and shares a tender moment with Beverly, realizing she remembers the love note he once wrote, although she mistakenly believes Bill was the one who sent it. Eddie's journey. Walking through downtown Derry, Eddie stops at a pharmacy for medication. There, he encounters Mr. Keene, the old pharmacist. While waiting, Eddie is drawn into a terrifying memory of hearing his mother's voice from the basement, a trap laid by Pennywise. In town, Eddie visits a pharmacy and is drawn into a terrifying memory of his mother's capture by a monstrous zombie. When he returns to the pharmacy's basement, he's attacked by the same creature. This time, he fights back, defeating the monster. Back at the hotel, Beverly and Bill kiss, but Beverly feels no spark, confirming it was Ben who truly loved her. Then, a bloody skateboard rolls down the stairs, and Bill realizes the young boy he warned earlier is in danger. At the town festival, Bill rushes to save the boy trapped inside a funhouse of mirrors. Despite his efforts, Pennywise brutally kills the child before Bill's eyes. Later that night, Mike is attacked at the library by Henry Bowers, but Richie saves him with an axe to the head. Devastated by the child's death, Bill decides to confront Pennywise alone. The others refuse to let him face it by himself. The Losers Club heads to the old house, where they are quickly separated. Mike and Beverly help a wounded Ben, while Bill, Richie, and Eddie find Stanley's severed head, which morphs into a horrifying spider-like creature. After a chaotic fight, they regroup and head into the sewers. In the tunnels, Beverly is dragged underwater by a monstrous vision, but Ben saves her. They discover Pennywise's ancient lair, where Mike explains that they must perform the ritual. The group throws their personal artifacts into the Shokapoa's fire and recites the ritual. At first, it seems to work until a giant red balloon bursts from the artifact, signaling their failure. Pennywise reveals that the Native Americans who attempted the ritual before were slaughtered, and that Mike hid this truth from them. Pennywise attacks, and the group is scattered. Bill faces his guilt over Georgie, ultimately forgiving himself. Beverly and Ben face their worst fears. Beverly nearly drowns in blood, and Ben almost suffocates underground. Ben's love confession finally breaks Beverly's mental prison, and they escape together. Meanwhile, Richie and Eddie try to find a way out through trapped doors, each hiding grotesque illusions. Ultimately, they regroup just as Pennywise reappears. Richie is hypnotized by the deadlights, but Eddie saves him by stabbing Pennywise, gravely wounding the monster. Believing Pennywise defeated, Eddie lets his guard down and is fatally attacked. Devastated, the losers realize they can't defeat Pennywise by brute force. Instead, they target his ego, mocking and belittling him until he shrinks into a small, weak creature. Mike rips out his heart, and together they crush it, finally ending Pennywise once and for all. Mourning Eddie's death, the group flees the collapsing cavern. Once back in Derry, they notice that the scar from their childhood blood oath has vanished, signaling that the evil that haunted them is truly gone. They part ways, forever changed, but finally free. What did you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time. Friends, if you liked the story, then like the video, and if you are new on the channel, then subscribe to the channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to be the first to get the next update.